You had 3 tackles for loss. He forced fumble.
I thought Rickey really did a nice job. Rick, he really played well. He was one of those guys when you look out there, he was going against the excellent tackle for them, the all-conference tackle for them, the biggest one, and I thought he did an outstanding job all day long. He's the more he plays, the better he'll get, and his speed showed, his strength showed. He had no physical setback at all. I mean, he was taking hits to people, and he was very impactful.
Missouri State's averaging 28 points a game. How are they better offensively this year? Last year they really struggled to score.
Yeah, they're they just know. I think they know where they're going better. Maybe they're doing it with different personnel and maybe setting up their calls a little bit better. I don't know that for sure. I just know that the players appear to be more confident in what they were doing than they were this time last year. And I think that helped them. Again, I go back to how they developed their football team with some of those teams they played early, created some rhythm for them, and then they really got in sync on offense through that rhythm. So, yeah, they're playing good, moving much faster at the point of attack than maybe they were this time last year when we were playing them. So, yeah, they're you can see it's a big difference. Every coach that watched the tape said they're a much better football team than what we were preparing for last year at this time.
I know it's frustrating to be 2-4. That means the fans are frustrated too. What message would you give to Panther fans about this football team?
I'd probably say this. It was the first thing is what I go back to point of attack, and I look at our personnel versus Youngstown's personnel. That's why I'm so making a point. If you want to measure it against Youngstown, because that was the real deal. And when I look at Rickey, when I look at Twait, when I look at Jared, when I look at Deshaun Dexter, when I see that and compared to what they played and how they played, I even go to Elijah Campbell. When I see those guys do what they did against that football team and play the way they did and as hard as they played, it says a lot of where we're at. Not record-wise, but we're good. We're good enough. Let's put it that way. Okay, we're good enough at those positions, and we're good enough to win these games. I think that's a given, even if you see the scores. But I look at it. I don't like to get lucky. I like to be good, and so we're good enough at those positions. What we're not good enough at, we're playing hard enough. Now, we're not playing smart enough sometimes. So we got to get smarter in some positions, and then there's no question. Probably a lot of the frustration goes that we don't move the ball in the fourth quarter, the third quarter, whatever. Okay, I do know this: we've got to move the chains in the third and fourth quarter. To put ourselves in position to win, because we've held two teams, one team to 20 points, one team to 14 points, and did not win. And so that being said, we have to improve our offense, and that production is frustrating me, and that needs to be addressed to find that way to do it. Now, I go back and I look at head-to-head competition there. Are we good enough there at some positions? I think we're capable of being good enough at those positions right now. I don't know if we're at that level of consistency at those positions that I can say that right now, but I think it's there. But I think those are pieces of the puzzle that need to be tuned up and cleaned up. So, and that's the question to be answered this week in practice and moving forward. And at the same time, we've done some stupid stuff on defense, and you can't go rogue on defense or you're going to get your butt handed to you. And a couple times when we did get beat over the last few games, somebody went rogue and didn't play within a Duncan Furch's system, if you will. He fits the system. You got to play to the system, and then you got to play at a very talented high level. So that's how you win top 10 matchups. And for all the fans, I'm talking top 10 matchups. I'm not talking playing who else, all right? I'm talking two top 10 teams playing each other. How are you going to win those games? Because that's our schedule. And that's the schedule that's been put in front of us. So we have to be top 10 teams every single week. And then when you get a little wear and tear on you on a long drive, it takes time for that kid to get back when you're in your sixth game right now, when other people have been playing when you only got so much depth, you only got so much depth. So that's what I'd really say is, I got no excuses. But I do know we got to find a way to take the players that we have and twist them a little bit more, and they'll turn and then catch some momentum. And then just like every other year for the past few years, you catch fire, and then at the end of the year, you're where you belong. But right now, until we turn that thing, we're not. So, we're getting to 6 minutes and 5 minutes and 3 minutes left in the game against top 10 teams. But you and I expect it, and they should expect it, because I expect it. You want to measure yourself against top 10. Okay? And that's what we're doing right now, and that's what I'm trying to manage and set up. Let's put it that way. Did that answer your question?